Have you ever been interested in the sport of curling? If so, then join us to get swept away in everything curling has to offer. This is Chess on Ice. Hello everyone, my name is Fia Shelton and welcome to Chess on Ice, the show where we'll be exploring the sport of curling around the greater Milwaukee area. Curling has been around for hundreds of years and is more popular than ever in southeastern Wisconsin. Similar to chess, the sport of curling involves a great amount of not only skill, but strategy as well. To help us get a better understanding of how the sport is played, let's send it over to our curling expert, Max Martinson.
Thanks, Fia. Some of you may have seen curling in the Olympics when it became an official Olympic sport in 1998, but most people aren't familiar with the rules, so here's how it works. The basics of curling involve two teams of 4 players sliding 8 40-pound granite stones across a sheet of ice with a target, otherwise known as the house, on each end. The game's objective is to try to get more of your team's stones closer to the center of the house than your opponent. The skip, otherwise known as the captain of the team, has the important job of planning the team's strategy. There are 3 main components that make up the strategy when throwing a stone, which is known as the delivery. But before that, the first step is to determine which type of shot you want to throw. There are 3 primary shot types: guards, draws, and takeouts. A guard is a shot that is thrown in front of the house to protect other stones that are in the house, or just to make the other team's shot harder. A draw is a shot that is thrown specifically to reach inside of the house, and finally a takeout is a shot that by name is meant to knock other stones out of play. Once you've determined what type of shot you want to throw, the next step is deciding the best way to get the stone where you want it. The first of the 3 components that I mentioned earlier is how hard you throw the stone. The second is how much turn you put on the stone. The more you rotate the stone as you throw it, the more the stone will curl, which is what gives the sport its name. And finally, one of the most important parts of the game, sweeping. Sweeping is done for 2 reasons. The first is to help the stone travel further. When you sweep the ice, a very thin layer of water is created on top. This allows the stone to travel further because the friction between the stone and the water is less than between the stone and the ice. The second reason for sweeping is to reduce the amount of curl the stone has. To put it all simply, the more you sweep in front of the stone, the further and straighter it will travel. After both teams throw all 8 of their stones, points will be given to whichever team has the closest stone to the center of the house. Only one team can score per end, and you can think of an end like an inning in baseball. 1 point will be given for every stone that is closer to the center of the house than your opponent's closest stone. And that's how it works. Back to you, Fia.
Thanks for that, Max. Curling in the Milwaukee area is bigger than you might think. And right in Milwaukee's backyard is the Wauwatosa Curling Club. Founded in 1921, the club has been a beloved community within the city of Wauwatosa for over 100 years. The club is located directly in the heart of the city, and in a typical year will have nearly 400 members. But what makes the Wauwatosa Curling Club so special? To answer that, we sat down with club president Rachel Cable to give us her perspective.
In order to be president of the club, you have to be on the board of our club, the board of directors, for a number of years. Typically, one of those 3 members in their 3rd year becomes the club president. I was willing to do the work, which is why I'm the club president. I became president at our spring banquet last year, and I will hand that over to our vice president at the end of our season this year. Since I've been club president, we've undertaken significant fundraising for historic renovation of our club. We're going to have brand new ice floor, new roof, new dehumidification system, and the space that we're in right now is going to be our primary club space. The cool thing about curling is there is the sport of curling, which is interesting and challenging, but beyond that is the social aspect of curling, where after you play a game, you sit down at a table with the team that you played against and you get to know them. And we really do get to know each other, and it's really rewarding. So I actually curled for Marquette's curling club when I was a student there back in the 90s, and that was actually here in this building. After I graduated, I stopped curling, but then my husband and I, we ended up coming down here for a try curling after 2014, and we've been here ever since. One time I did play in a playdown, so my women's team did take second place in a state playdown competition. It's a play-off, essentially, in order to qualify for club nationals. The most difficult thing about curling is consistency. The ice can be different even during the same game. It might start out slow and then get faster. Just always making sure that you're coming out with the right weight, or that you hit the broom, which is that you're hitting the target that your skip is putting for you. You really develop a social network here. I have made lifelong friends in this place. I look forward to coming down here. I think if you join a bowling league or a softball league, you join with friends you have, and then when you stop doing that, you leave with the same friends that you had. And I can't imagine my life now without dozens and dozens of the people that I've come to become very good friends with at this club.
Rachel brings such a fantastic energy to the club. Wouldn't you say, Max?
Yeah, I most certainly would, and she's the same way when she's out on the ice as well.
Now, while the Wauwatosa Curling Club does have a fun and friendly community, just like other sports, some players enjoy competition, and one of the events that the club hosts every year is their annual Men's Invitational Bonspiel. The event features 3 action-packed days filled with some of the best curlers, not only in Wisconsin, but all over the world. Now, you may be asking the question, what is a Bonspiel? Can you walk us through that as well, Max?
Yeah, I would love to. A bonspiel is a word that has the literal meaning of a curling tournament, but bonspiels aren't the same as your typical March Madness style of bracket. Every team in the event will start here in the center. This is known as the first event. If you continue to win matches, you'll remain in the first event. But you may be asking, what happens if you lose? If a team loses their match, they'll be placed in a different event, which is the second, third, and fourth events. Once teams are placed in their respective events, the single elimination style of bracket that most people are familiar with will begin. To put it simply, the winners of the first event are considered to be the winners of the tournament. And now that you know how a bonspiel works, let's get into the action. Our sideline reporter Victor Lowe is on the ice awaiting the start of the first day of competition.
Thank you, Max. As competitors prepare for the first day here at the Wauwatosa Curling Club 82nd Annual Men Invitation Bonspiel, the anticipation and the excitement are just on the rise. Not only just for players, but spectators as well. As 32 teams from all over the United States make their way onto the ice, all eyes are just looking towards for 3 days of fun-filling curling action. To get the tournament started, let's send it over to Mike Ganger with the call.
Thank you very much, Victor. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Wauwatosa Curling Club for the 82nd Annual Men's Invitational Bonspiel. My name is Mike Ganger. I'll be calling the action for this year's tournament. We've got 3 fantastic days of curling action lined up, and it all starts right now with Team Muller versus Team Netzger. All right, Team Muller looking to clear out the center of the house here. Gonna need to keep that stone right on the center line. That appears to be looking good. Gets it through the gap, and they get one, plus the rollover. What a beautiful shot there from Peter Muller. John Netzger now looking to place his stone right in the center of the house. Gonna need to stay right on that center line. That one looks to be drifting to the right. And it'll just clip the edge of the guard out in front. Team Muller will retake the lead. Team Muller is really in need of a good shot here to try to limit the damage. Here's the delivery. That one is drifting to the right, and a bad end is going to get even worse here for Team Muller. Huge opportunity for Netzger.